Action. Check. What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Alec Smith. I'm here live on set of Making Sense of It All with DV and J Mike. Make sure you stay tuned. It's about to go down.
Whoa. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is DV.
And I'm J Mike, and this is Making Sense of It All. Today, I have a very special guest with me. His name is Alec. And we're going to be discussing a variety of topics today. But primarily, we're going to discuss the responsibilities
and the misconceptions
of being in a frat.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you, y'all. I appreciate y'all having me.
Appreciate it, family.
It's an honor, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Well, by that being said, Alec, I want to know what made you join a fraternity.
What made me join a fraternity? To be honest, bro, I think I always wanted to be in a frat, bro. Right. You know, I always knew about frat life. Unlike a lot of people who come into college and have no idea what Greek life is. I had the luxury of growing up and actually knowing what frat life was all about. You know, at least having a sense of it. My dad was Greek. I think what actually pushed me to go ahead and take that step into it was the desire to not only have a brotherhood, but to also be a part of something, you know, bigger than myself.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and I knew that with my dad starting a legacy, me following and continuing that legacy would also push, you know, my little brothers probably want to do the same thing. So that's probably why I actually decided to be Greek, you know, from the get-go, you know.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And was your dad in Alpha Phi Alpha?
Yeah, actually, my dad crossed the same chapter as I did 30 years. Yeah, he crossed the same chapter, bro. 30 years to the month, like the same semester. Spring '83, I crossed in spring 2013. So he crossed the UNT back when it was North Texas State, and so Alpha Phi Alpha, Ace Club, everything the same. I mean, it's really crazy how it worked out.
Alright, so let me ask you this, Alec. So he was already kind of leading out in that, right?
Right.
So he already had the whole alpha thing going.
Right.
What made you decide to follow in those footsteps rather than switch it up and go either Omega, Sigma, Kappa?
Well, man, you know, a lot of us, I mean, most of us know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. It's like a household name, if you will. I mean, that's kind of, for me, individuals like himself, Thurgood Marshall, W.E.B. Du Bois, Duke Ellington, you know, predominant Alpha members, or Alpha men, they all lived the lives I felt like was the epitome of, you know, being a man.
Right.
It's, you know, my father as well. With my dad actually being in my life, you know, I was able to kind of look up to him and see what it was to be a man. You know, he's been married to my mom now for 28 years, you know, and so to me, he was that dude, you know, and so everything I saw in him, I wanted to see in myself, and so being an alpha to me was, to follow his footsteps was to hopefully put me in a position to one day be just like he was. And you know, on another note, to go along with that, Alpha was founded back in 1906. I'm going to give a little history, just kind of make it make a little more sense. On December 4th, 1906, the fraternity was started. In 1906, African American men and women didn't really have many rights, if any at all, you know. And so at that time, we were facing a lot of social prejudices. We were facing a lot of trouble in the classroom. And if you know anything about Cornell University in New York, it's to this day almost considered like an Ivy League school. And so for the African American men who were attending there, they're the elitists of their communities. And so this organization was started in a time where we really weren't allowed to have anything of our own. And so looking back over the history of the fraternity, who doesn't want to be a part of something that stands for, again, something bigger than themselves? It's like a movement. You know, if you want to be an activist in the community, you follow the footsteps of those who led before you, stand on the shoulders of giants. And so, to me, that's what Alpha Phi Alpha was. And so thus I went ahead and took the steps I needed to take in order to join the frat.
Yeah, man, that sounds really interesting. I want to know that people view frat life as, you know, what they see in the movies, you know, all fun and games.
Right.
Can you tell me or expound on how or what you had to give up being in the frat?
Okay. Yeah, man. fun and games is cool. We do get to have fun. You know, that's definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to see that side of it. But you know, I was one of my old heads told me when I called, you know, you're an alpha now, man. You had a target on your back before. You have an even bigger target on your back now. You know, and being in Greek life, man, all eyes are on you. And standing and being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, you have to understand now that you don't only represent you and your last name and your family, but now you represent an entire organization that at a point, you know, once it started, stood for something bigger than you and almost bigger than life itself. I mean, people gave up their lives to give us as African American men and women the opportunity to actually live the lives that we live today. So when you walk around with those letters on your chest, man, you have to understand that people are looking at you and they're not really looking at you saying that Alec is this, that, and third. No, it's Alec the Alpha is this, that, and whatever else they may categorize me as. So not only did I have to give up not only did I have to realize that I wasn't only just representing myself, I also had to realize that time, everybody is saying 24 hours in a day, but time is precious. And you only get so much of it, and with it you have to manage it, man. It was one thing to manage school, you know, and studies. It's another thing to manage a job. It's another thing to manage family time. It's another thing to manage your girlfriend. Now you got to manage a whole organization, and you know, put on events for people to raise awareness about what's going on in your society, in your community. Put on events to make sure that you can raise funds for the organization. Go to conventions, go to this meeting and that meeting, meet with the schools, deans. I mean, you name it, we do it.
Right.
It's a second job on top of whatever jobs you already have. Right. You know, so you have to give up a lot. And, you know, you have to make space, but you know, it's worth it in the end because I mean, you become a man out of it. You know, so.
Man, I feel that.
Yeah.
The richness, the history, the weight. Right. I really feel that.
Right.
And speaking of events, you know, talk about some of the responsibilities of, you know, having to attend these events and having to actually lead out. For example, like the MLK March that you guys were a part of late this January. Okay.
So at the beginning of every spring, Martin Luther King Day, of course, rolls around at I believe it's the third Monday in January. This year it happened to fall on the 18th, and that was right before the spring semester starts back in. And so, mind you, we've been on break for a month. And nobody's thinking about events at all. If anything, they're thinking about the first party for the semester, you know. But for 4 weeks straight, you know, however long that winter break is, we're in the back working, cooking up something to put on to not only commemorate one of our frat brothers, but to also, again, raise awareness, man. You know, the civil rights movement took place way back in 50s, 60s, you know, long time ago. Right. You know, and a lot of times we find ourselves not even thinking about the sacrifices that our ancestors made for us. But it's 2016 and we're still facing the same stuff, man. You know? And so, you know, hands up, don't shoot. You know, the hoodie marches that we were doing for Trayvon Martin, police brutality marches that we have going on now. We're still facing the same nonsense, you know? And so the march is symbolic for both reasons, you know? Not only to remember our brothers and sisters for what they did way back when, but to realize that we're still going through the same stuff right now, you know? And so that march is roughly 3 miles, I want to say. It's from the university up to the MLK Center. We meet with the dean community and we go up to the MLK Center. We give a speech, give a little history, and then we have a preacher come up and kind of talk to us and encourage people to do, you know, better not only for themselves but for the people around them. We talk about service, we do community service, and that whole day is just dedicated to remembering what it is that we're here still fighting for, you know. And then, you know, the organization itself has a whole umbrella of events that we have to put on to not only be in contention for awards on a national level, but to also, what's the word I'm looking for? We have a box we have to stay in. We have a certain number of things that we have to do over the course of every year to ensure that we are doing what it is and representing what it is to be an alpha man. So Yeah, that's just one event.
Small little piece of the whole
The
pie.
whole vibe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny that you say that, man, because a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
You know? And what I want to ask you is, I want you to address what are some of the misconceptions that people don't know.
Well, one that I don't think people think that it's easy, but it doesn't just happen overnight. You know, a lot of it took a lot of humility on my end, for example, to even get to where I am. That you go through a whole process nationally that requires that sometimes you have to stop doing everything. You have to sit back and strip yourself of everything so that you can receive something more.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to sound too religious because it's not religious, but it is. It's an opportunity for an individual to actually strip down and realize that you're not the man you could be, you know, and there are flaws in each and every one of us. And there are certain things that we want that fraternity life instills, even sorority life, any organization you join, instills in individuals to help better them. And that's the purpose of any organization for the most part. That's what the purpose of Phi Alpha is.
Right.
To bring more alpha men into this world, men who believe in manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. Men who believe in being first of all, servants of all, and transcending all. You know, so yeah, you know, so that's the kind of things that the fraternity focuses on. And so, with that being said, you know, the humbling experience, it was definitely a humbling experience to get to this point, you know. And so, not only was it humbling, but I mean, again, the fun, man. I mean, you get to go out and you get to learn a lot of new stuff about yourself and people. You have to put yourself in positions that you're not typically comfortable with. For example, speaking in front of a crowd of individuals that you never thought you would speak in front of, you know, or doing interviews like this, interviews you would never think you were going to do, you know, because again, eyes are on you, and even when you don't know eyes are on you, eyes are always on you. So, you know, it definitely puts a lot of pressure on you, but in the end, it's really worth it because it makes a better man out of you. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I have a good friend of mine. His name's Emmanuel Fasani. Actually, I think he crossed before you did.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Emmanuel. Strong man of God, good man, man, high character guy.
Oh yeah, man.
Just like yourself.
Thank you, bro.
Alec, man, do me a favor and kind of take us back. You've been in this fraternity for about 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. So kind of take us back and kind of walk us through the beginning stages, the evolution, the excitement of the probate, and to where you are right now as a man. Kind of take us there.
Okay. Let me see. Take you back. Let's see how far back we'll go. We'll go back to the beginning of college career. How about that? Okay. Excuse me. I went to school in Atlanta my freshman year, which of course has nothing to do with UNT, but it gives a good perspective of where all this comes from. I went to an HBCU. If anybody is, I know y'all have heard of Morehouse College before. All male African American school, prestigious college in Atlanta, Georgia. Same university, college in where Martin Luther King Jr. attended when he was 15 years old, by the way. 15.
How did he even get in? Okay, special.
Real special. What else? Exactly. And so I always wanted to go to Morehouse, and out there, I mean, the alphas out there run about 30 deep. Like, it's a huge shack. It's totally different than what we experience here at PWI. But that it really caught my eye as far as college life and group life were concerned, how that connected. So I came back to the University of North Texas my sophomore year and decided that if there was any way I could get on and make somebody know who I was in this little bit amount of time that I've been at this college, I'm going to do it. So I met the alphas. I went out of my way. I didn't make it, super duper, extravagant and make everybody, I didn't tell the world. But, I got to know the brothers on campus, And I was there in the fall, spring semester I pledged, spring of 2013. And again, that whole experience, pledging in itself was just humbling. It was very, very humbling experience. Came out on the other side, and it's funny how things changed from fall 2012 to the fall of 2013. Yeah. Because I crossed in the spring, nobody really knew who I was. Fall 2013 told me the story. Everybody.
But
nobody knew me as Alec.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
always Alec the Alpha, the light skin, then I grew facial hair. It was crazy. And I didn't know what was going on, man. To be honest with you, I thought when I came in, I thought I was going to be able to handle it because, you know, I've been used to attention on different levels, from playing football in high school to, you know, honking in high school, little stuff. But it's like, you know, I'm used to attention, but the attention I received after going Greek at a school as big as UNT,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. And again, went through a phase where humility wasn't necessary, had kind of lost its way. Got real prideful, kind of arrogant, kind of stuck up. You know, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, so in 2014, I kind of lost my way. You know, and that's me being honest with myself because so much is being thrown at me. And you know, when you don't know how to handle all the things that can come at you at one time, you slip and fall. You know, and so I had my moments where I fell flat on my face. And I messed up. Had to miss a semester of school. You know, a lot of things came my way that I didn't know how to handle.
Yeah.
Okay. But come 2015, got back on my feet, got back in church, still respecting my fraternity. Right. I never lost sight of what it was that I had been called to do as a man at Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Never lost sight of what it was I was called to do as an older brother. You know. But,
all right, Alex. So go ahead and continue, man.
Okay, man. So as I was saying, you know, up to this, you know, Alpha's got me up to this point. I've been doing it for 3 years, like you said. But now it's time to cross that stage, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I do have still have 2 more semesters at the University of North Texas, but you know, I think there are bigger things out there for me and anybody else who's got the opportunity to go to college and get a degree, you know. And so, you know, it's played a very significant role in my life up to this point, being a college student at UNC. It's opened a lot of doors for me, you know. So I really appreciate the opportunity it's given me. And, you know, it's helped grow me as a man, but, you know, I definitely want to see where it takes me, you know, after this, you know. And, of course, with the help of God and, you know, his guidance, man, it could be something even bigger. My brother just crossed, so I left the job to him. You know, he just crossed last semester, so I'm proud of him. You know, so there you go.
That's what's up, man.
Well, man, I can definitely say that this interview has been powerful. I feel like we're gonna look back on this interview years from now and just say a lot was accomplished.
Yeah.
We're able to showcase the richness of your fraternity, the legacy that you guys are carrying, the responsibilities, and it's been, for me, I'm sure DV feels the same way, it's been an eye-opener. It's been an eye-opening experience, man. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And was there anything that we didn't cover? Anything we left out?
No, man, I think y'all got all of it. I think y'all on the head. Y'all doing big things, but I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Sure. One more thing, man. Where can people follow you? What's your Twitter, IG?
You know what? I'm on Twitter a little bit, so y'all can follow me on Twitter at Alec, that's ALECX Smith _, or just follow me on Instagram at alec.xavier, that's ALEC.XAVIER. I have some big things coming up, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
So that's it, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's been another episode of Making Sense of It All. Alec, man, you're a stand-up guy. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Already.
Please
subscribe
to our YouTube channel.
Got
It's called Making Sense of It All.
No spaces, baby.
And you can follow us, me and Jay Mike, on Instagram and Twitter.
In the link below.
Link below.
All right, man. Well, this has been another episode of Making Sense of It All. Hope you learned a lot. We sure did. Tune in next time. Thanks for watching.